Good morning. How's everyone doing today? I am trying out the mod view. Oh wow, forgot to mute it. You ran into a problem and your computer needs to restart. Thanks, Windows. Oh man, I feel like I'm forgetting to do something. Oh, I forgot to set up Firefox. That's what I was forgetting. All right. Well, here is Legacy AXT thing. Add a bunch of repos to this project. So I added two projects, one for the private core, the other's for the other stuff. And it's kind of neat that you can have multiple repositories, like code repositories, associated with a project on SourceHut. So I went through and updated this last night while my wife was taking the dog to get her drain tube out. Also set up mailing lists. Got announcement stuff, development stuff, and discuss stuff. Now, one thing that I saw in here was that in order to get these things working out correctly, this one's merged, applied. I mean, it's getting really close to being able to do like proper CI stuff on SourceHut. SourceHut really supports the kind of the email workflow that Git worked with in the beginning. Everybody's used to like the GitHub workflow, right? It's kind of popularized. I think what was the other one? Bitbucket. Their workflow's a little bit different than GitHub. Easy to configure, yada yada. So let's see. I wanted to check something. Get set. Get. I thought I needed to do some sort of git config thing. Basically, it's in the in order to get the the legacy underscore ID in the right spot there. I just set something up. My wife just sent me a picture of one of our chickens crossing a road. She says, "Why did the chicken cross the road?" Because the grass was greener on the other side. Alright. Betraying Sourcet. Good morning. Oh, I'm not betraying Sourcet. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. But I did create projects there. So this is one. I want to update to be those two things plus this. I like the way that they kind of do these things. Okay, I need to paste. There we go. I don't have like a repo where I want to use the README for this thing. It's okay. But if you check out the thing there, I'd be interested to see if everything is working correctly. If anybody's got time to click into that, that'd be nice. You can add trackers, add mailing lists. Getting mercurial. Speaking is hard. All right. So, I did all that stuff. I even did, check this out, build stuff. Oh, what? The test failed for this? Oh, no, you didn't. Extra data failed? Oh, that's interesting. How do cows like to do their shopping? From catalogs. But huh. That's a good one. I like that one. It's not that bad. Which is why I watch this. Oh my goodness. I'm trying out the mod view that I haven't used before. Kind of interesting. I'm not able to drag stuff. All right. Anyhow. Oh, but that's neat. I can actually remove that panel. Oh, fantastic. That's nice. All right. I feel like I'm actually missing stuff from this view. Yeah, I feel like what I'm missing is like events. All right. So let's get into this. Why is this failing? Yeah, see, that's the thing that I miss about the mod, like in the mod view, is to see if somebody followed or something like that, you know? I do miss that from there. Hmm. Is there a way to add that? That's a good one, Nightshade, dude. That's a good one. I like your last one too. You often worry about German sausages. You fear the worst. Those are good ones. Extra data. Oh. We'll have to find that in a bit. It's actually on the blog post, something I'm looking for. Who else is reading this? Not you. Alright, edit anyways. Extra data. Now, where is it saying it's failing? Line 197. Here. Oh, the length. It's saying that the length is 0. Well, that's not good. We need that to work. Does it work sometimes? Ooh, it does work sometimes. Look at that. Alright. The problem is that this data doesn't, well, it gets enqueued, but the other side here, when it does the take, doesn't have time to get that data. Let's see why. Because this enqueuing I thought was instant. Attempts to send a message into the channel. Does that mean the other end of the channel wasn't able to get the data yet? Then when we take it, we take the client out of there. Oh, maybe the client already read the data? No, it can't, because we didn't actually give it a chance. We didn't read in our test, so it couldn't have. So remove the client and ask it to get all the data it can. And we could see if it's actually pushing. That's down here. And in this section. This pusher into inner is supposed to grab all the data. Creates a vector with capacity. Tries to receive everything that it can. And maybe we shouldn't do that way. Maybe we should wait until it's closed. But it looks like it's doing it, right? Will this also return an error if there's nothing ready? Yeah, if the channel's empty or closed. So instead, who calls into inner? What if we made this async? Just this one place, and it's inside of a spawn. Okay. We'll await that. And we will wait until it's actually closed. Okay, so that's there. Oh, I wanted to check something real quick. Oh, COC Rust Analyzer got updated. Yay, maybe it's going to fix the issue. Oh, object is gone. Lovely. Very nice. This might be all that's needed. And in this case, I think we need a test for this. Well, that's really important. I mean, that extra object there was fairly distracting. This JavaScript was showing. What do you call a guy with a rubber toe? Rubber toe. No, unfortunately, the tests that I have are in the other crate. So test this. Easiest way for me anyways. Just do that real quick. Uh-oh. Mismatched types. Ah. Is that right? I mean, or, oh, I just didn't save it. I love how fast those build now. Uh-oh, running 2 tests. Taking forever. So I was afraid of that. Because when we do this, we don't actually close the that other channel. So when we do this, we need to make sure that whenever this into winner is called, whenever we want this take, eject mode take, we have to close that other side. So here, client info dot. Oh, look at that. All this information, sender. One was okay. Saw 2 giraffes having an argument. Their discussion was way over my head. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right, saved. All right, so extra data worked. The other one didn't. I don't like having these tests in the other project. I want to move them over. What about remove channel? Channel's not right. Remove channel. Take client. Oh, channel versus client. That's right. I think we have to do the same thing for any of the eject modes. Okay, that one's already doing it, and I think that's the last one there. Really? The other one, not doing it. There's extra data. So we're looking at this take dropped. What's happening inside of here? Oh, well, we called take on it. Is it actually getting that far though? I doubt it's getting that past that part there. Hopefully it gets to that part. Oh, what was the test name? Take dropped. Yeah, so it got to 166. It's not getting past that point. So it's definitely hitting there and pausing forever. What? Just trying to close that out. Okay, let's try again. Lib. Who else has this open? Newer than a swap file. Okay. We can either recover it or do something else. Process ID. That one still running. All right, let's go find it. There it is. Ta-da! Okay. Just that easy. Alright, so take here. This is on net, isn't it? This is legacy net. And it's got a TX and an RX. TX is packeteer, RX is multiplexer. So we're hitting this take client now. I mean, it might be hitting this. Or it could be that inside of multiplexer. Multiplexer uses the same system. Hmm. All right. I think this one's fine. It would be nice to have tests on this, though. Test module, test. Let's see. What do we want to test? Forget client now. What is this thing supposed to be anyways? It can just be a writer, can't it? Yeah. Well, in that case, I think we're going to take some of the setup from these tests. Yeah, you get an extreme pair here. That wasn't it. I want this line. forgot that it already had tests. Alright, so pusher. And packeteer. There we go. Oh, I can use a channel here. Oh, that's even better. Forgot about that. Alright. My Vim fingers have not woken up yet. Alright. Yeah, we'll try to send some data. Now we want to take that. We want to forget it. Oh. That's right, we have to add a client. The client is just a writer. So we give it an ID. Let's say the ID is the number. I just mashed some keys. All right. And the writer. That's going to be the TX side. Yeah. We need one of these instead. Actually, just one Unix stream. I don't really need a pair. Grazink, good morning. I'm doing well, thank you. I need to check some docs real quick. But yeah, apparently I had a failed test in my little build setup. We got SourceSet cranking out some builds for us. We even got project set up. So we got like the core stuff and then the ext stuff. So all this is set up. I set this up last night with like each one of these now has a build associated with it. We got sources and mailing lists and tickets and bearers. Oh my. All right. What do you call a bee having a bad hair day? I like this one. It's a frisbee. Oh, but I was actually going to check something over here. Instead of iterator, we're going to look at Yeah, it looks like pair is going to be the easiest way to go. Yeah. Why did the turtle go to AT&T? I don't know why. Because he couldn't sprint. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's better than it like you think it'd be, you know? That's a good one. All right. I'm gonna take that again. Toss that over here. All right. Oh, we don't have async IO on Packeteer for its tests. There we go. Unix stream. Let's use standard OS. I forgot. Standard OS something. UnixNet. There it is. UnixNet. It probably would have imported that for me. Okay, put these down below for a moment. Wow, the rooster's getting loud. All right, now in this case we have the client. We're going to wrap that up in an arc though. I guess async arc. Why are we using arc otherwise? Oh, for the data. Huh. Actually, I don't think it matters, does it? It's just extra traits on there. No, because it needs to be that explicit type. For the trisend, it wants things to be in an arc. And that tuple type doesn't match. All right. So toss it inside of a new and client. Ignore server for now. All right. There's our client. Now we want to send via Packeteer to this. And it's published to a specific client. So we need the client ID, which was covered. There we go. Thank you, autocomplete. Now we just give us some data. And the data in this case is a what? Anything that can go into an arc of U8s. All right. Okay, so we can take the vectors into that, publish the data to all of those, but before we end up sending it, like before we try to receive it in that Unix stream, we're just going to close the socket. We want to forget this thing. We want it to go away. So Packeteer, forget client. Ooh, which one do we want to do? Probably just this one at the moment. 6453. We have to await that? No. That's pretty good. Let's toss up one of these for the other variants as well. Forget now. Game dev unknown. How's it going? What else do we want? We have remove take client now. I know they're all like the same. Yeah, that one we have to await though. So we await that, get the result. And this should be that pair of things, right? The tuple and the list of data. In this case, we can actually check the data and make sure that it's correct. Did I hear of gotm.io? I did not. What is this? Copy link address. Let's take a peek. No, I haven't heard of this. They get a lot of stuff on here. Carl's Crude Combat. That's funny. That's neat. Now, so I came to this page here, right? I have to say I'm a little confused as to the purpose. Are you saying that these are Godot games? Oh wow. I was not expecting to be able to play them. Okay. That surprised me. Sorry, I'm gonna go into web dev mode. Want to reload that. That and I couldn't control the volume on it. Want to mute that. All right. Mute that. What is this? Domain Firebase. Firebase storage. Interesting. we go. How big was it? 14 megs? That's actually not that bad. I mean, it sucks that you have to wait for 14 megs to download before you can play it, but it's really not that bad. Oh, that's neat. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's pretty cool. I'm going to send that to somebody real quick. Send it to my kids. Alright. It's kind of a way for me to take notes too. Rely on their memory capacity. Alright. We don't need that. We're going to rename this. Oh, actually, I'll load that up again. About. Huh. Fast loading, shorter loading times than on any other platform. Compression and delivery system. Interesting. That's neat. I do not like this Web 3.0 sort of big gap here. This giant gap here needs to go away. No ads or microtransactions. Oh, upcoming pricing model. Dun dun dun. No need for ads or microtransactions? Because they will handle it for you. All the ads and all the microtransactions. Google has an idea or two how to fill those gaps. Yeah. You could fit 2 or 3 banners in those. Alright. There we go. Okay, so we're coming back into the code. There we go. Cleaning some of this up. We need to clean up sync arc. Just call it arc now. What? Oh, must use a result. I'll give that an unwrap. Same then. Couple more of those. Yeah, I'm not going to do that test like that. Okay, I do want to check that the result here, we basically have 2 things. I'm going to enforce that it's a result here. And then this is going to be the basically the stream, the writer, and the arc. W and data. Now I want to see how much data is available. I'm just going to say 0 is equal to data.length, or some really big number. 1,000. All right. And some of these, that's gone. All of those. We didn't use mutex. Am I using COC? Yes, with NeoVim. Thank you, Xenocron. All right. No errors. Cargo test. Let's make sure this all works. Failed. Oh, we need 4 instead of 1,000. Is 4 correct? Yes. 1 packet, 2 packet, 3 packet, 4. Nice. Okay. So now I need to go look at a blog post on SourceHut. It has to do with CI stuff. Where is it? Community blog. Okay. It says one little bit. I need to add this. Okay. Yeah, it's I mean, SourceHut is kind of beta software, right? So not everything is like GitHub, and you know, they do pretty well. And I commend them for like building something, just a couple people, you know, going against the beasts out there. Oh, you can't log into your account because Twitch doesn't send me the emails. So you're using a client. Right. Interesting. Huh. What's the GitHub Azure way of doing CI? Actually, I want to go back here. So I'm going to take a note on this. I need that for later. I'm going to add another section to my stuff. SourceHut. Oh, what do we call this? This is Git settings. Let's see, in order to get, is it patches running, correct CI, or something like that. All right, let me delete that other one. Done. Okay, so we're gonna go through and try this out. I think that'd be a neat addition too. Basically force that there aren't any unused dependencies. That'd be really neat. But we're not going to do that. Adding unit tests. Adding more unit tests. All right. Oh, I've forgotten the command. Where was I doing this last night? All right, well, they actually have a whole website about it. Okay. Here. Email plus get is love. Like the Linux kernel, Postgres, and even Git itself in no time. Oh yeah, they just list all the OSs. So in this case, it goes through how to go through and install it and all that, how to configure it, because you're sending an email, you need to have SMTP support and all that. So what's your SMTP login? And then you keep going. Right? I'm gonna do a get send email to yada yada, and with your patch set. And this is how basically they did Git plus email before GitHub. The Dark Ages. And we're going back into the Dark Ages because I like this workflow. It's actually really quite nice. I don't like that in order to send a patch to something on GitHub, I have to have a GitHub account. And it's kind of viral that way. It's like, oh, no, you can't submit a patch or anything. But in this, you just send an email. It goes into a mailing list, and that can be picked up by maintainers and whatnot. So we're going to do a get send email to. In the right terminal window, get send email to. Then we have to give it an email address. All right. Followed by what the patch is going to be. In this case, it's going to be head, and because I'm using a Z, I have to escape the caret. Now, what is the email in this case? Let's go back over to source hunt. All right. Now, in this case, we have a mailing list set up for this legacy ext project, and we're going to send an email to this point here. And this even has little things. If you want to send patches, you can toss them in here. This means that if you want to send patches, you don't even have to have a source set account. It's kind of weird. Well, it's kind of how it was, right? So we take that, toss it in here, and we do that. And it's going to say, hey, this is what your email is going to look like. Are you sure? And I'm going to make sure that this is set up correct. So it goes into the correct CI workflow, because I haven't seen this work yet. I've been trying to set this up. Send this email, yes. Yeah, and when you think about it, what other ways are there to support that workflow? The workflow being able to send a patch without having to create an account. Right? What other ways are there to be able to anonymously submit patches? All right, so it says message received. Great. Now, in theory, somebody else, if one of you out there actually submitted this, and it would come over here, I'd probably get some sort of email about it. look at this. So we got this patch here. Oh, and it says that the build failed. But here you have the patch. And typically what you would do, in my case, pretending that, one of you ended up sending this, I'm going to just copy this. Basically, this is a fetch that can download in mailbox format and then apply it to Git using mailbox format. And then I'd be able to test it and run it locally and commit it to master. It's kind of nice. And one of the other projects I have on here that I've been trying to set up, it's kind of stalled out a little bit, but I call it Hal. Where's Hal? Here he is. It's a build bot for SourceSet. So basically what I want to be able to do is then, given that list stuff, I want Hal to be able to monitor, oops, let's go back, monitor these lists. I want to be able to say, hey, this is approved or yada yada, and when I hit update, then Hal will get the notice and do all the heavy lifting for me. So, kind of like how Boars works on GitHub. I want a Hal for SourceSet. All right, now let's see. Why did this fail? Oh, that's right. We can log in within 10. I can log in. Could not read remote repo. Why? Well, I guess we could use the public stuff for that. Oh, that's interesting. Because this was actually working last night using that, but I wasn't testing it via the mailing list. Ah, and they automatically have this apply patch to it. Very cool. So I think this needs to actually be the public one, or I have to be able to give it secrets. Because this is public, we could just give it the public one. Actually, I'm gonna go back there. Let's see, how do we want to do that? We do have this. This was on head. All right, let's go back to master. Hit checkout. I'm gonna edit the builds, general stuff here. Now I think this is not going to work for that workflow, especially without providing secrets. And I don't think we need to provide secrets, so we won't. Let's go back to Git, and this is for Packeteer. Let's just use the read only. What do we have to change here? It's going to be the slash, etc. All right, beginning portion. Like that. have to actually add that. Git add build. All right. Oh, no. I do want to send it to the master branch. All right. Now in this case, this build shouldn't take long. We can go eavesdrop on it. I'm gonna turn on dark mode. Most of the time, this works pretty well. There's some cases where the CSS fails. So now it goes through, and given the manifest, it will follow certain instructions, and we can view the manifest over here. Fairly simple, we just saw this, although this one actually shows us a little bit more information. I told it I didn't care what architecture, so we just took the default. And it's got this setup for artifacts. I'm not capturing any artifacts for this because it's a library. But once it's in there, it doesn't actually take long, just a couple seconds for each one of these. And it does run them one after the next, so I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. All right, so that worked. Let's go back here. How many of these do we have set up? Oh, that's very, very bright. Coming back here, if we go to our project, some of the navigation I'm not too fond of. That and the flicker there, I'm going to go with just the white to avoid the flicker. Okay, so we have our mailing list, development stuff here. We've got our patch. Now, I don't see a way to redo this without coming in here and resubmitting the build. Hopefully, it actually took the, wait. Oh, it died so fast. Oh, it's still using the old thing. Okay, let's just fix that. And there I go, closing too many things. I don't have that in my buffer anymore. The other nice thing in this is that you can have multiple files in there, and it'll kick them off concurrently. So if you do want things to run concurrently because it takes maybe a long time for it, you can do that just with different manifests in that other directory. There was one other thing I wanted to see in that view manifest. I wanted to see, did they have triggers? Yes, they have webhooks here. And they have this stuff at the end. What is this? Pretty sure that's supposed to be on the same line here. Build complete. Now it's got some information that's encoded here. Looks base64-ish with a couple of equals at the end. What are they encoding here? Try again. All right. Get rid of the percents. Okay, so it is binary information. Yeah, who knows? This is also what Hal was supposed to be using, but I wasn't able to get it set up so that I was getting signed requests. And it's interesting to see how they're doing it, because they just provide a URL with a magic token, or what appears to be a magic token. Okay, coming back here. So all of that succeeded. If we go back just a little further, source set lists. Okay, now it's succeeded. That's pretty neat. I like that. So before I even do anything, you can actually have a discussion about why things are failing or do other bits in here. Doesn't support inline editing or any of that, but you can export the patch. You can do a lot of different stuff. You can forward the thread to me, blah, blah, blah. All right. And that's how it would work. And I would really like to get Hal working, so I could just say, oh, this is approved, update. And then Hal would see this. It would get some sort of notification and just run with it. I would really like that. Oh, that's right. We used to set up Hal to actually monitor this. Man, I haven't run Hal in forever. I might actually start working on Hal again, especially now that they have this. That makes it really nice. All right, well, in this case, after that, we would go back here, get status. I would do the little download and apply the patch here. Get checkout master or whatever. Sure. And in this case, because that other change is in this branch over there, I'm just going to go ahead and pull this here. We're going to apply it. Oh, patch already applied. Drat. That's because I'm looking at the wrong patch. No, that's the right patch. Adding more unit tests. Oh, I didn't. Okay, well, next time we'll do this. Just a quick another check. Yeah, get push. So that's applied and whatever. And it's approved. It's and applied. But it's a neat little system set up on top of a mailing list. All right, there's one other thing I wanted to check in here. How do you do a v2? Git commit -a amend. Yeah, you have to annotate -v2. Several patches at once, etc. Oh, you know what? This is a good time for a little interlude. I am going to have breakfast. Well, coffee, really. And I don't know if there will be breakfast. Looks like there might be breakfast. Something light, probably. But I do this every day. My wife's been getting an earlier start, so we are having a little bit of time together in the morning. I'm gonna go do that, and need to set up my timer. Stopwatch. Good. All right. We'll see you soon. All right. What does a nut say when it sneezes? Cashew. Hey, Bro 38. Good morning. All right. I wanted to do a little bit more organization here. Um, want to organize some of these into the project itself. All right. Let's move this one back out. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Lexi server old also goes out. All right, and is that what we had inside of the project? Let's go back to Halsey. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, Uraniwa would be so proud of us. Counting early in the morning. Okay. Uh-oh, that's actually not right because GD Native's in here, and I only did the other ones. Which one is... Oh, Legacy Old is in there. I thought we moved that out already. Oh, that I also had one 2019. Okay. And we need to move in there the GD Native. Okay. Oh, you want to code a proper alternative to the async IO crate and use epoll. Epoll, huh? Well, why not just use the polling crate? Because async IO just provides a couple of. Here, let's look. Is the game published somewhere? No, it's not. We have a bunch of Git pieces that are source code available, but not the core of the game. Yeah, MIO was and is very, very popular. You're trying to code async IO. Now, what are you actually trying to do with this? I'm curious, actually. Because it seems like, well, hold on, let's go back. Go back into the dependency list here. Dependencies. Polling. So async IO is actually built on top of polling to use epoll. So if you're using the async IO crate, it is using that stuff. That could be a lot of fun, though. Actually, that'd be a lot of fun. Are you gonna make like a very specific version of it, or what's your goal with it? All right. Yes, yes, they are made by the same human. Stephen Glavina. At least I say it's Stephen. I like to check the recent updates. One shot I think would be pretty cool. I guess you could wear a one shot channel. I actually want to get this async process in because that's one of the things that this is one of the things that we miss when we went away from Tokyo. You know how ePoll works? Nice. I've had to do ePoll and KQ. KQ is a lot of fun. I like KQ. All right. So coming back, we got those pieces working. I think. Let's see. Cargo test. Oh, we didn't get that working. Drat. And I have to check to make sure I'm not going to miss meetings this morning. So it dawned on me while having coffee that this might be an early day. Ah, okay. Only moderately early. Okay. All right, so that's still failing. Let's go into Stream Multiplexer and figure out why. We probably don't have enough test in order to make that work here. Okay. I'm gonna update this. We want... All those should be okay. Cargo update. Interesting. Why would that not work then? Because yeah, it doesn't seem like it would have the same sort of problem that the other would. So if we go into, let's say, lib, because the pusher and this are very, very similar. Right, one's just operating with data coming in, the other's data going out. So the pattern is nearly the same. And when we go into this add new connection bit here, right, add stream, we have a stream roller, and it goes through and it does stuff, but it doesn't need the extra bits to come out. So I don't see why that test is failing. Yeah, this one's actually much simpler because here, right there, we have no extra data to actually collect from it. It's not like when in packets here, when we're trying to remove a writer, there might also be data that's still meant to go out with that writer. But not with multiplexer. Odd. Okay, let's go back. Legacy EXT. Legacy net. Now this one, target test. Your problem with EPOL is that you don't know how to call wake when the socket is ready to be read. Oh, trying to tie that in with futures. I imagine that's really what you're doing in those cases, and I haven't looked into this. But in the future, where's our module? Polio structs, standard future. Where's Waker? Standard task Waker. Okay, maybe it's over in task. I know. So here I was wandering into this. Because part of what context has is a waker, right? So you can get a waker from a context. I'm trying to think through, like if you did have ePoll, you're trying to set that up. Actually, I'm thinking KQ because that's most what I'm familiar with at the moment. But I think it's basically the same thing. You get notified that you can read or write to a specific socket. Okay. So it seems like you would want to associate a number of wakers with those sockets, and then given that socket being able to read or write, you would then trigger the waker. It's based on token system? Very nice. That's cool. That'd be fun to take it. Do you have a link to that? Actually, let's... I know we're rabbit hole number 2. Gone from the foxhole to the rabbit hole to the field mouse. Alright, so they have a syswaker. Full selector registry, and there's the token. I see. That's funny, it looks like it, yeah. For Linux and Android. Turn the file descriptor into a file first so we're ensure that it's closed when dropped. Oh wow. I didn't know you could do that. That's neat. Oh, what does that mean? That should be today's date, isn't it? Yeah, that's today's date. 2020 08 25. Sorry, I thought you were pointing out that I had it incorrect, and it made me panic. I was like, because I set that up like when I'm really groggy, and yeah. Yeah, the waker is basically what ties back into the state machine that Rust builds for all of the async code. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. No, that's funny though. Oh wow, Dragonfly. Man, I wanna run Dragonfly. Seems like it'd be so much fun. It'd be like every other BSD, just different. Um, would block, empty and wake again. If the error kindness is interrupted, then we wake. It'd be interesting to see how they tie their wakers into that that table. It's probably in token here, or in this example, hash map is used, but usually something like slab is better. All right, where's the code? Okay, so yeah, this is just their definition of whatever their token is. All right, well, we should get back into the code. And why isn't extra data actually working? Take dropped works. Extra data. Where are you failing? Just a little sprinkling. All right, so it's getting to 197. Run it a couple times, see if it. Oh, it did get past it once. Oh. All right, 197. So it's still pausing on this. Why? Let's go back to the other one for a moment. And just make sure it's using the correct version. Oh, 197. Still caught it. Seemed like it was behaving better though. Well, maybe not. what is it actually calling there? This is before 197. It's calling take on net. Alright, some of these are just silly to toss debugs in there for. Oh, we need, let's try again. DBG, bang, boom. Alright, I think it's really just those three we care about. I was locked down here? They can't get a local ordinance passed to get people to wear masks. Some local stores will prohibit you from entering without masks. The library prohibits you from entering without masks. And those poor old librarians in there. Some teenagers tried to enter without masks on, and it made the news. The police arrived. That's how lockdown is here. The area I'm in is kind of in a natural state of social distancing. Right. The number of people per square mile is fairly low. So people around here don't quite believe all this stuff because, you know, you don't have people dying around here. You don't have people knowing people that die around here. So it's kind of, it's tough because those people that are at risk are, they probably still have to work around here. This isn't the like economic central of the world here. You want to go out? Oh, that sucks. 4 months right now. We've seen people that had close family members nearly die from it and still get enraged over mask mandates. Yeah, that's so rough, right? It's like what it reminds me of, and I'm too early. Sorry, I'm too young to remember this. But like the seatbelts, right? Mandating that people wear seatbelts. That's kind of what it feels like. This is for your protection. Or like in NASCAR, right? The head restraint system. Just to be protected from pollution. Yeah, that makes sense. I think in our area we actually have fairly clean air, and I think just people never do it. All right, but it looks like in this case we're just gonna read this read only. Take client now is failing to return. It should close here. Remove client, close it, wake it, and then wait for it. Closing the sender here seems like it should be enough. I wonder what it's pausing on there. All right. Why would that fail? Take client now. Wait up closing. Because it's going to try to read until this is closed. We don't have to do anything else there. It's going to return a bool. Ah, I see. So here we should be able to detect that this actually closed it and it wasn't closed already. That's interesting. An interesting way of being able to tell whether or not it was already there. Yeah. So it's not asserting there. So we close that, and then we say, hey, wake. I wonder if we even need to tell it to wake. Or how far it's getting. Actually, closing this, we might be doing this in the wrong order. Because if we do a close, and then at the same time, it reads and ejects itself. Oh, that's not good. Ooh. Most people wear masks there. What am I doing at the moment? I'm trying to figure out how this is actually failing. So this, in this case, um, this test isn't resolving. It just hangs. And I think that the case is race condition. I think it's because the awaker is somehow causing this to not, well, we have two states. One, if we close the channel, I think that's our signal to it that it needs to eject itself. Let's check on that. Let's see what happens when we close the channel that's being fed in. So in Packeteer, I think it's in Pusher. So in Pusher, we basically push everything until this fails, right? Until we stop receiving stuff. So if it gets closed, we return an error, or we return OK here. Actually, does this check make sense? It doesn't make sense. This check should actually be inside of here. How did I not see that before? And why don't we do the check at the very end? So yeah, if you couldn't. All right. Well, regardless, we're not getting an error at the moment. But this receiver here, self-to receiver receive. Now, in this case, if that channel closes, we get the error, and this basically returns itself, which is not what we want. Let's go back to the other side. Where was that other function? Add. client, inside of here we have the channel, the pusher. We just looked at the pusher's code. And when the pusher decides that it's done, this line returns. Okay. Now if this line returns, we're going to go here into left and just do the remove client. So it's nice and quiet. Just, oh, there might have been an IO error. We might have run out of data or something else. But really, we're supposed to come over here onto this side. Yeah, and have this into inner actually work. So that closes in the wrong spot, because we need to signal first and then close it. So we signal and tell it to wake up, and this will keep it from draining more data. Because if it does try to use that future, let me think about that. So we have a pusher, and our pusher has a receiver. The receiver is trying to get more data. We're going to come down to the race. So we either do awaken or we do the push all. Maybe we should use or here instead and favor the awaken. Because we want the awaken to be favored over that. If we have data and this other piece, we want this one to happen. Man, that rooster's getting some lungs on him. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Can you guys hear it? Probably only when I'm talking. All right. Is this push all will go? Okay, yeah, let's do the or here. So instead of race, does Futures Light not have that? Yeah, this is server today. Basically, we were trying to get, well, this is a little bit of cleanup from reorganizing some of the open source bits of this. Because during that process, I actually found a bug, and then we're trying to fix that bug. The build machine ended up getting a test failure that I wasn't getting locally. And I was just getting lucky in the way that the timing worked. Futures Light. Do we have? I thought there was an OR in here. Future EXT OR. Oh, I see. OR is actually like that. Where's race? Race is here. Yeah, if you have a preference, use Future EXT OR. Got it. Yeah, I was surprised. So, for those of you that have joined since, let's see, we have this Legacy EXT project here, and I put all of these repositories in with the project. So we have sources, we've got a little mailing list set up, and you can send in patches to the mailing list without even having a source hut account, which is really nice. It does mean that you have to set up email with your Git setup, which is how everybody used to use Git. And I wired up builds to those PRs so it can be used. And if you haven't done Git with email, it's kind of fun. It's different. It's not like the GitHub experience, right? It's not the Bitbucket experience. It's not the GitLab experience. It's kind of a bit more of a raw, just distributed source control experience. It's really nice because any one of those systems, you end up with, one kind of source of truth. And well, here with this stuff, you end up having that, but it's not like somebody could just be watching the lists here and take patches that they want. They could have their own, you know, repo that they cloned using the read-only stuff. Yeah, source set, sr.ht. It's neat. It's neat. And it's a small project. Everything on SourceHut is actually open source. There's nothing. I feel like I'm a SourceHut ad today. I apologize for that. Um, I don't know. Meta, that's my stuff. Let's see. How do you get back to like regular SourceHut? SourceHut. They do lack on some links between things. So, but if you're interested, check it out. I like it. I like it that it's like just clean and simple. I think their website even works without JavaScript. Yeah, all features work without JavaScript, which is fantastic. So you can install it locally, do whatever you want with it. Markdown-driven wikis, etc., etc., etc. All right, back to work. Ah, we were going to use or. So we want to favor this one. Oh, interesting, but then I can't. They have different types. Oh, that's not fun. Yeah, they have to have the same output type. No. All right, for this, GitHub, Museum, Twitch chat. Oh, nice. I have got to get my stuff updated with this. Museum, you've done a fantastic job. All right. Where's either? Did I pass it? Here. Oh, interesting. Okay. Also using or. Where's or? Here's or. Contemplating using this. or just basically creating our own. We want, how much time do we have? Got 15 minutes. Okay. I think the version that we want of this is slightly different. This would work. Actually, the bit we want is everything except for that. Because we don't want the random case, we want the biased case. Because we're using race for the other case.
He was sitting on a bench, staring into the distance as if it were endless. I smiled politely as I passed, but his voice rasped behind me.
I wonder if there's a different way to do this.
A voice like his
I don't,
hands.
I'm not seeing it, but let's explore that a little bit. In this case, when we get the await, let's see, can we map that? Can we map futures, the result of futures, in order to be able to handle the conversion here?
How do I know that you exist? He asked. I stopped and turned to face him. His deep
Future for the
blue eyes
flattened
were
method.
laced with anxiety.
And that's out of futures. I want
I
futures
swallowed
light.
a dozen silent tastes from it, but I didn't return to his
They
bench.
do have it. Oh, that's for stream though.
After a moment of thought, I spoke.
Let's see what they do have for our
You
future.
know more than I know that you do.
Oh no.
His lips twitched in what may have been a smile.
Don't want the re-export.
I'm really proud
Future
of you.
EXT. It's really just boxed and or. All right. Now let's just take a moment. Do we really need that? If we happen to push out data and then come back around and then get the await, the awaken, doesn't matter. No, it doesn't, does it? All right. In that case, we'll just leave it for a moment. But why weren't our tests failing for this? Maybe they would. It's because we're not actually trying to read. Or did we just get lucky? Oh, it's hanging. Oh, goodness. Okay, we got lucky earlier. Okay. It's either that or, let's see, how many tests do we have? Do I want to wait a minute for it to time out? I don't. And I don't know which test is actually running there. Can we do verbose? Okay, there. Well, here's the list of 5. General. Client info general. So we have client info, one of those, 3 packeteer and a pusher. I only see 2 packeteer here. We have forget now, forget. We're missing take client now. Okay, now is that the code that we just changed? It is, because we moved that down. And in this case, we say, hey, we want to take this. But if it comes back, no, we definitely want to favor one over the other. Because if it comes back and sees that it has two possible paths to take, we wanted to take the waker, or the, the ejection as opposed to the other one. Okay, drat. We have to do that. Let's make this consistent among all of those. We want to signal first with the awaken. Alright, no. Take now. Forget client now. Okay, first signal, and then close. Or, oh, you know what? Why am I doing that there? Why don't we get rid of that and have it close it elsewhere? Oh, that might be a better way of doing it. Okay. So if we get any of the right ones, especially this one, at this point, I think we have a copy of the client info. Is that getting returned? Channels, add, there. Alright, we want a read lock on that. I guess we do want a write lock. Write lock. We don't want to remove a client though. And what is channels anyways? Channels. So we could ask it for the client sender. Wow, there's lots of little pieces on here. How about we add a close? Arn 4VV, good morning. And good morning, Cat Peasant. How you doing? All right. Let's see, does this need to be mutable? I think so. Okay. Mutable self and a client ID. We'll take that by reference. I don't think we actually need it. We'll signal whether or not it actually shut down. Boolean error. I kind of just want a immutable entry. Because clients is a hash map, isn't it? Self to clients. Yeah, it's a hash map to a client info. Alright, we'll just do it this way. we'll get mutably the client. Gonna go ahead and toss that on there. Client info, I think, is more accurate. Bail early on that. Otherwise, we return client info sender.close. Yep, function never used. That's fine. So close client sender. And I'm doing all right today. Yeah, GitHub is well, there's a reason why Microsoft bought them, right? Microsoft wants developers in their pockets, which is a good thing, right? For any big company like that. All right, now back here, we want to be able to say channels.close client sender. We give it the client ID. Oh, we have to get the write lock to that. We could do both. I don't want that held open very long, especially across the wait. So I'm going to say channel lock, channel guard, channel start write. There we go. No. I'm gonna skip that today. Good. All right. Now in this case, let removed. It should be removed. I'm going to toss a debug assert on there. Oh, my mistake. This, because if it was an error, okay. Not supposed to return a client info. No. That's funny, because we could just use the result of that to actually do the other piece. And we can get rid of this close client sender function. Okay, you're gone. That's going to be equal to that. Client guard. We want to write lock on it. Remove those pieces. Remove that. Remove that. Client info. Sender. Close. That'll return a Boolean. Oh, it wasn't channel, was it? I thought it was like client or something. Clients. What? Channels. Okay. Interesting. What do we do in the case where this fails? So, I don't think we were handling this before. That and take might have already done that. Let's look down here again. Where's take? Yeah, it would have already done that. So that's gone at that point. If we don't remove it, and we just tell it to wake, then we can do that later. Let's go wake client instead. We'll give it one of those. Eject mode, take. All right. Something like that. We're not going to do one of those. We have to tell it which client though. Wake client. With a client ID. We're not going to do that. We're going to do the rest of those operations inside. Okay. Same here. Forget client now. Okay, which gets rid of those. And this is forget client. Which means that both of them... Yeah, this one's kind of like an easy one, where it just... This one's slightly different. This one we don't want to do that. This one we remove the client, and we just close its MPSC channel so it drains and closes naturally. You don't despise Microsoft. Yeah, I don't despise Microsoft either. Sorry, I haven't been on top of chat today, man. They've made massive progress towards being a more friendly company. They've also been a lot more friendly internally, as far as I understand. Internally, Microsoft used to be quite cutthroat. Even their review process. Basically, you stack rank the whole company. Alright. This looks okay, take, and that. So let's toss a wake client on that, on channels. Give it the same style of result. I don't know what this is going to be. The success type on that, I think it's just going to be unit. Alright, get mutably the client ID. Yeah. Bail early on that one. Now if we have client info dot, what can we do on the client info? Okay, so it's client control. Wake. Okay, that doesn't return anything. So at that point, we wake the client. Good. Get immutable reference, do that. Now, back in Packeteer, where was it? In wherever we're adding them, here. Okay. So if they drain out, that's fine. But if they get awoken out, now at this point, they still exist in that list. We can get them out. We can close the sender on it. Client info dot, oh, what was it again? Yeah, it's sender. Oh, it's a result there, of course. Let's see, what is the only way that this could actually fail? It could fail by getting some sort of I/O error at the same time as this. But no, you would have to end up reading at the same time. Because really, it comes down to this race. Right, here you're going to get the I/O error. You're not going to know you have an I/O error if you hit this arm. Oops. So this arm I/O errors, or it gets drained out. So what if you get drained out as you are calling for something? I guess we could always check to see, you know, if you did get drained out and you were an OK. Should you be ejected? Why would they be drained out though? They'd only be drained out if you called to close on them. So that's not possible. And if there was an I/O error, you would get this. And you wouldn't have this here. Okay. But that's more of like a really angry. Right. Client was removed. Cannot find. Taken client. Because if you're waiting for this, I would rather not have something wait forever and block everything. I'd rather have it crash. Because the alternative here is we could just log in and say like, oh, no, we couldn't find it. But then something's actually waiting for this to be ejected. And that's going to be waiting a very long time if we can't find it. So we either need to say, to be able to pass that error information back out, or say this should have been our responsibility, and this should never happen. I'm trying to come through, like, figure out the different situations where it could possibly happen. I don't see anything. I mean, it may be here if somebody starts, let's say you have two threads, and one is actually feeding data out, and there's an I/O error for whatever reason as the data is going out. And at that same moment, somebody wants to take it and move it. Yeah, that would be kind of weird. Because you'd be going either between zones or something like that. We would want to eject you from one zone and put you in the other. All right. Other than the I/O error, do I have anything else? It almost feels like we should be able to signal in the take that it failed. So how would we do that? Let's say the take did fail. Could we send an error to the eject? Guess we could. This ejection channel here on Packeteer could have it be a result. A little bit more like that. And in most cases, you get the right thing. And you might not. Where is it getting its type information on this one here? Ejection. That's from the other crate. That's just using type info. Alright, so somewhere else. Maybe in here. Let's do a match on this instead. Match channels. In the good case, we get the channel info. And we do this stuff. In the failure case, whatever the error is, we're going to just pass that through. We don't need the return. Or does this want a return? It looks like it kind of wants a return. Why we have the OK here. It's not like this actually goes back out to anything. Let's get rid of that at the same time. Just always return unit. Send. Client ID. Oh, interesting. Send just takes a message. How is it supposed to know what the ID is? We're not relying on tuples in here, are we? That's async channel. My mistake. Now, this here, I happen to know that this is a, well, it says there, it's an async channel, and it's unbound. We could just do a try send instead of the await on there. Why are we doing the await? The try send will always succeed on that. Oh, are we returning question mark in here? Alright, which piece cannot be sent between threads safely? The trait send is not implemented for... Ejection channel. That should be fine. Alright, that's one error. Mismatch types. How do we fix this? Well, let's give it the type information up here. That is a sender of an IDNT. Oh. Oh, I did get it wrong. No, T is right there. This should be fine. ID. What ID? Ah, yes, we are using NeoVim with COC and dot files over here. All right. So why in the world is this? Why is this like this? Oh, I don't have setup. Setup would be a good one. Commands. There we go. And good morning. Happy Tuesday? Is this Tuesday? Interesting. I'm trying to get it to be one of these. But this type information here has to be updated as well. Ah, that's where it is. Alright, we can remove that attempt. Much nicer. Alright, so what's going on with this? Not an OS 10 fan. I get it. I like it because it's a bit of a BSD with a pretty face. You know, what brand of tea do I drink? I drink Rishi tea. My favorite is their mint green tea. All right. So which piece in here is actually trying to go across away boundaries? All right. So which one is it? Remove client? Oh, is that supposed to be awaited? It's not. Mismatch types. Expected tuple found result. Yes, it's supposed to be. Wait, why is that supposed to be a expected a tuple found result? Interesting. All right, so how do we do this first one here? 266. Where is this? Oh, take client now. I guess technically that's exactly what we're returning here. Oh, that's nice. Oh, you're gonna try them for your next batch? Nice. Yeah, I've been drinking Rishi teas since goodness, I remember the place where I started drinking that mint green tea from Rishi. It's in a coffee shop. It was in California, kind of the Bay Area. All right. All right, now we're down to this last one here. Let's see if we can finally get this buttoned up. All right. Future, yeah, yeah. All right, but which one? Which future is not it? Oh, the right guard, of course. And there's the await. There's the right guard, and there's the await. Hmm. All right, so we have to remove the client, separate, extract into variable. We'll rename that. Client info results used here after move. Used somewhere in here. Oh, that's great. So this remove client should return that, but it shouldn't keep a hold onto the right guard. Move occurs because client info has a type blah, which does not implement the copy trait. Yeah, we don't expect it to. Value moved here and add client. Oh, did I shadow something that I shouldn't have? Client info res. Oh, and this is channel info. And then I use client info inside. Okay, so more accurately, I didn't set that up correctly. Now, there's nothing else we can do if this fails. That would mean that it was closed and probably being shut down. All right, little comment. For this pattern here, this pattern's a little dangerous, just ignoring everything that comes out of this. So I like to make sure a comment is included whenever that happens. And I'm not always doing it, as you can see up here. In this case, we just want to remove the client, and we don't care. They're going away. All right, result must be used. Oh yes, this needs to return that error. Probably the same thing here. Yeah. So if there is an error, we want to return it. Otherwise, we wait for the response. I don't think this returns anything useful. It's just unit, isn't it? Yeah, just unit. Ooh, 4, right, 0. Interesting. At least it... there, it's okay. In the other case, it's failing, okay. Oh, but it's a different sort of failure now. All right, let's make this consistent. Take client now. Sometimes has a length of 0 instead of 4 packets. It's only getting 1 packet. Am I using the laminar package? Good morning, Alpine Alpaca. I'm not sure what the laminar package is. You mean the crate? The cargo crate? Oh, no, we're not doing that. That's interesting, though. Yeah. Lightweight message base. Huh, that's cool. I'll definitely give that a little follow. But no, the game is more relaxed than should be needed with this. So yeah, currently we're just using TCP, and we'll probably toss on some a WebSocket endpoint as well, because certain corporate firewalls don't allow just direct TCP sockets. So not sure if it's finished or semi-abandoned. Oh, interesting. Well, if it's finished, it should be 1.0, right? If they're not going to change it, and it's stable. When was the last time it was updated? Oh yeah, almost a year ago. 11 months? Feature. I mean, this is a lot planned. Hmm. So if we do this take client now, take client is supposed to come in here. Wake client. Let's see, let's go back one. I wonder if the client's actually having data pushed to it in this case. All right, let's give that a check. Oh, don't want to move it. We're just going to borrow that. Is my game real time? No, it's a little bit more casual than that. So it's kind of it's not going to be anything like World of Warcraft or something like that. It I think that it's kind of timing requirements aren't going to be like first-person shooter-ish. It's going to be more like Don't Starve, if it was massively multiplayer, right? Or Sunless Seas, right? It just needs to be close enough. I mean, we might be able to get some UDP interfaces going too. We'd have to see. All right, we're just going to run this one test. Which one was it? Take client now. No capture on that. I want to see when it fails. Is it actually sending the data out? Oh, it is. It actually pushed the data. Oh, silly wabbit. And when it succeeds, it didn't pass the data out. Yep. So it didn't actually push it there. So either we make this kind of a single-threaded runtime. That way the other thread wouldn't get access to that data until the await. But it's at most 10 plus spectators. Oh, that's cool. Have you been using Amethyst or one of the other engines? There's talk that Bevy is nice. Gotta check my calendar real quick. All right. We got another 15 minutes or so. Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks promising. Ah, you're doing your own thing. That's cool. I think we actually need to collect everything at this point. So maybe, so if those are actually connected, we'll take server, receive. We're gonna have to give it a buffer. How do we do this? I almost want to just use the local executor here instead of small. Because at least with async executor, I could control that. See, can I control that with small? Ah, Specs, good morning. I mean, Shugam, what are you looking for? My hardware? I'm running a MacBook Pro. It's like a 2015 model. I think my next box is actually going to be a under the, it's going to be a box, like a actual desktop machine. And I'm probably going to run a BSD on it. Because most of what I'm using here, I would rather actually be using something else. But it's what I have, and I don't want to spend the money on upgrading it. So, alright, documentation on small real quick. Let's say I just want a certain runtime. Macros. We want block on. Thread local executor, and then runs the future. Okay. There, and that'll keep it from being multi-threaded. But what was that other error? No, it still sent it out. Gonna run those a couple times. Alright. So even with thread local, it's actually... I see, because it's favoring the other side of this. Because when it gets to the race, it chooses one of the sides. It's going to have both of them ready at that point. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to test that we get data back from this take client now call. You have a 2013 MacBook Air with Amethyst. Every tiny change took a minute to build. Oh, what's the linker? Yeah. Actually, what linker were you using on that? Because if, let's see, there's this other linker that you can use with that. You can use ZLD, and it's a lot faster on OS 10. I use ZLD. You have a proper 12-core desktop machine right now? Yeah, that's the direction I want to go in. And I'm hoping I can run this hardware long enough that, you know, I'll slowly save up and hardware will get cheaper. I'm using a MacBook Pro, not a MacBook Air. 2015. Oh. Seriously? It's not gonna give, oh, fine. It's gonna be a pill. But yeah, I was looking for the specs and the cores here. 2.5 gigahertz quad core i7. See, I think like if this were actually running, we wouldn't care that the client actually got more data. That would be fine. All right. We need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 10 packets, and they need to come from somewhere. Data count, it's going to be mutable. Or here, instead of counting down, let's count up. Yep, unused. Fine. So, for data, for blah. You know, I'm going to simplify this a little bit. So we just have 4 packets. How about we just have 2 packets? Or 1 packet. Let's make it really simple. All right, we need 1 packet. It's either going to be in the data here, or it'll be with server. We should be able to read it off of server. 2016 and you can't install Linux. The sound doesn't work. Oh man. Yeah, I have avoided upgrading for quite a while just because I don't like the new boxes that much. Oh yeah, NVMe. I'd like to get a couple terabyte NVMe sticks with set them up in RAID, especially with those new cores. What is it? The something like this. Get like the A4. Oh, the 2460s are out. But yeah, going with something like this, and then being able to use that. Was it the A4 AM4 socket on that? Oh, that's the one you have in your machine? Ryzen 9? Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to get something like that. I gotta pay for other stuff. like the dog's vet bill. Silly dog. Alright, so actually block on didn't do a thing for us. I'm gonna go back to just run. Alright, now we need to make sure data actually comes in with something. If it's empty, what is data, by the way? The vector arc of U8. Alright, if it's empty, we need to do one assert, else we are going to assert is data.0. Mismatch types. Oh, just get the first one. It's an option. Fine. um, yeah, it's like 1,000 there. Wow. Easy doesn't like to cuddle or go for walks with me. Warp server takes 5 minutes to compile. Yeah. Assuming the swap is actually being used, which really isn't the case if you have enough memory, right? Oh, is that a different kind of arc? Oh my goodness. I just want to check that it's a number 1. Okay, so what is this? This data here, it's a vector of slices, basically. Atomically rough counted slices. So when we get the first one, okay, now we have an arc at that point. This unwrap returns T. Can't compare U81 with that. Even if can we deref it? Partial equals not implemented for. All right. Unwrap. Okay. I mean, let's just check that. Length is equal to 1. All right, that's enough of a check for it. I just need to see that it has data. All right, so if that is empty, we want to actually make sure the packet came through on the server. Server receive, we're gonna receive some sort of data. It's gonna be a vector of, no, with capacity. I guess we could just use an array here. It's a U8, there's one of them. Something like that. And receive wants what? Something to receive the buffer into. Oh. Close a bunch of those. Async IO. Documentation. Alright, what's that? Oh, of course, I should have been mutable. Yes, I am targeting a multi-platform game. So why doesn't receive work on this? Oh, wait. Well, it's not complaining about that. The type inside the async block must be known at this point. What type? Oh, I see, the integer ID. There we go. So it's an async Unix stream. Oh, but it's not a socket. We need to read with. Or just read. That's interesting. Isn't this also a async read ext? Yeah, I thought we should have something like this. I thought by having async on that, it would make it possible to have async read ext off of it. Did I forget some step here? Because I don't think I did. This is async, client and server. A Unix stream should be fine here. We get an async pair. Arc on the client. We don't have an arc on the server, which is fine. But I thought we should be able to use the functions from async read ext on it. Where's async read ext? Ah, here. Oh, I'm not calling read, I'm calling receive. And we could also call bytes. Oh, I see. Read. There we go. Unwrap that. Now it'll tell us how many bytes were read. Right. Tell us how much was read, don't you? Okay. All right, that's better. Cargo test. So it's going to go through one of those branches. Should pass either one. Good. Ah, we see that it actually pushed data. Oh, in general. The general test. I want to do this specific test. Okay, so it did the push. Let's see if we can get one without the push. And by that I mean this section here. Ah, good. And the other case worked as well. Okay, that's better. What did we change? We changed the way that the waking up worked. And that you can now get an error back from that other function. Well, I guess you could in the public interface already, but there weren't valid errors really being returned, just like one case. Oh, you forgot to tell me. CSC for Java has improved a lot. Oh, nice. Only place it needs improving is their debug, specifically for Spring. Oh, nice. Well, that's pretty awesome. That's really cool. I like that you don't have to use like Eclipse or IntelliJ for that stuff. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just give this a push. We're already on master. It's Eclipse JTT. That's cool. All right, so where were we testing this? We were testing it over here. Cargo update. I think we're still pointing to that project just to the right here. Yeah, net is going to be a local one, not a Git repo. Extra data failed until it didn't, because the data is actually getting sent. And as we discussed earlier, that's an acceptable case. The data is actually getting sent out. So this test actually needs to collect the data that was sent out and compare the results. Yeah, that's extra data. Where's extra data? Here it is. I'm gonna remove some of these extra debugs. Okay. And we just have these 4. In this case, we should always be reaching the end. The only difference is that we have to validate the test differently. All right, I'm gonna have to fix this later because I gotta get going soon. I think it's improved a lot. I wasn't planning on doing this today, which it's funny how like one test failure at the very beginning of the stream is like, hey, there's something wrong, and then we just followed that. Yeah, in this case, this data length check is not correct. All right. Hey, good morning, Brainsman. Thank you, Xenocron. Hmm. How are we going to fix this one? And I have to get set up for this. I don't think I can actually fix that in 5 minutes. Maybe. Let's see, where's the data? We want server here. Arc server. Okay, so the server is actually going in. We're going to be dealing with the client. Where does the client get used? What's going on there? We get the data back out. We get the TXRX out. Take in this case is the TXRX, and that has the data inside of it. I see. All right, now if that already has data that we can read out of it, so just be able to create a buffer here. We're gonna have six elements. So let's create an array. It's gonna be U8s, and we'll have 10 of them. Oh, that's gonna need to be mutable. We'll unwrap that. Read count is equal to that. And the data.length is going to need plus read count. So that plus that should equal whatever. Actually, it shouldn't equal 3, should it? No, it shouldn't. Because in one case we're reading bytes, the other we're reading, we have these packets. All right. Now a byte is a packet. Make that mutable, good. Now we should hit the other errors. I got like 60 seconds. Okay, I gotta wrap up. Where are we gonna raid today? Okay, that little screen is gone. Anybody have any suggestions on who to raid? All right, y'all. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. No chicken. When was the last time we ever raided a chicken? It turned out to be a pheasant or something. Quail. It was a quail. It was a punk quail. All right, trying to Rust Summer School. Oh, that's in check. Fritz? Who's Fritz? That's from the chicken family. Oh, that's funny. Is it just called Fritz? Fritz? Alright. I don't see Fritz there. I would like to do a raid though. Oh, C# Fritz. Alright, we'll do it. Well, I gotta run. So until next time. Bye, y'all.